So welcome to lesson 6. Today we're talking about our Google Drive and we have some basic tips. Here's one of the ways you can get there. You can do a Google search and just put in Google Drive and click the first one, Google Drive. The other way you can get there is to go ahead and see up here where I highlighted the URL, you could go to google.com/drive/ and you'll get to the same splash screen. There's two buttons where you could go to get into the drive. You could click up here at the top, go to Drive, or you can click down here, go to Drive. So let's go ahead and click it. Your drive will look something like this if you already have some files and folders inside. If you're brand new to Google Drive, of course it will be empty. Let's take a quick look at the dashboard. Over here on the left-hand side, you see these menu bars. The two buttons that we're going to pay attention to in this lesson is this first one, New, which opens up when you click it, and it gives you new things that you can make. The next area that we're going to talk about today is this trash can button. When you click on it, you get to go look inside your trash can. My Drive, if you ever get lost, you can always click at My Drive and it'll come to the beginning of your folder structure. The rest of these we'll talk about in part 2, Google Tips. Over here in sort of the middle area, at the very top, you see the Search in Drive bar. That's where you can type the name or a partial name of a file or folder, and it'll help you find it in your directory system. Next in the middle is this Quick Access area, which will show you about 5 most recent projects or files you were working on, so you can come back to work on them quickly. Then kind of towards the middle bottom, you see the list of folders that you have, and in general, they start out alphabetical. If you don't have numbers on the names of the folders, it'll be ABC order, and you can click on this arrow to make it go backwards ABC order, or click it again to make it go ABC order the regular way. If you did have numbers, then it would do the numbers first, then the ABC order. Let's check this out. Up here in the upper right, you have a certain amount of icons, but in this space right here above the little guy holding money bags, there's nothing. If I come over here to my folder called Public Access and I click it, I've selected it, and it now becomes sort of a highlighter blue. And then what happened is new icons popped up in this upper right area that allow me to do things to this folder. We are going to hang out with only 2 icons in this area. The trash can one, if I wanted to delete it, I could hit trash can and it would go into the trash. If I wanted to do other things, there's just 3 dots. You click on it and it gives you more options of stuff that you can do with these folders and files. So that's the general overview for the dashboard. Sooner or later, you're probably going to have a meeting, and sooner or later, you might want to take some meeting minutes. So we've gone a little deeper into our example structure to a folder called 05 Meeting Minutes. If I double click on it, you see that it's organized by church year. I could pop into that middle year that we're currently in, and you see that each month has its own folder for the meeting packets. So then you know that you can get the treasurer's report and the chair's report and the education report for July. It's all going to be in one folder area. So things are neat inside your drive. They're not all over the place. This is what I mean about making useful, searchable names. Try to avoid naming things like folder number 1, folder number 2, folder number 3. You might remember it in the short term, but in the long term, you'll forget what's inside. And then when the next chair inherits your drive, they're not going to know what it is. Instead, I strongly suggest you consider going with year 2020, then the month 07, then write out some of the month, in this case July, July, and then minutes. Then you know right away what's in there. It's all the stuff that happened in the July minutes packet for this year. So consider that when you're making your folder structure. One of the benefits of using a dating system like this is that, look at it, it's all in order already, in chronological order of when the minutes happened. The other thing that makes it useful when you name it is that they become searchable, meaningful names. I can put July minutes in the search bar, and here we go. We have some from 2020, we have some in a folder from 2021 that's coming up. You can find your things quickly. You wouldn't be able to do that if you just named it minutes 1, minutes 2, minutes 3. So really Consider searchable and meaningful names for your folders and for your files. I've gone to this area where I want the folder to live. Once I make it, it's going to live here. So the first step I do is click on the New button, and I slide to folder. So that's what I want to make. And I'm going to put README first. I like doing that in my structures because then when I pass the baton to a new chair, they know to go to the README first folder and learn how did I organize this folder system? How do we work here on this church team? It's just a really useful folder to have. And now you see it on the list, README first. I could continue and make folders according to our ministry, the broad topic areas that we do. We do some things for worship, we do some things for education. You just come up here to new, click the new folder, name the folder, whatever it is that you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and finish making these. I've made broad category folders for my church team, but I made a little mistake. Notice how this one for worship folder, I have a typo and it says WOHIP. I have to fix that. So here's how I would do it. If it wasn't already selected, I would click on the folder. See how it became highlighter blue? Now it's selected and it brought out these tools up here in the upper right. We're going to go to the 3-dot icon and click on it and slide down to rename. And then click on rename. It'll give me a chance to fix it, so I'm going to go ahead and fix it so it actually says worship. Then I click OK, and I'm going to have a few seconds to change my mind about that labeling. I could click undo and put it back to WOHIP, but I actually don't want to do that. So I'm going to close the X, or like you just saw, it'll disappear on its own after a few seconds. So there you go, I fixed it. Let's select a different folder. This time I'm going to select README first. Maybe I'm not ready to deal with it. I just want to delete it for now. I click on it to select it, and then I come up here to the upper right and just click on trash can. It throws it away in the can. But I changed my mind. I'm going to undo it really quick. You see how it came back, right? I close out this pop-out window. But really, I want to throw it away, so I select it. I've thrown it away. Maybe I've gone to bed. It's 3 days later. And then I changed my mind again. It's gone now. There's no pop-up. What do I do? Well, come over here to the left-hand menu bar and slide down to trash to peek inside your trash can. And you will see the folder there, README first. When you click on it, the menu choice will come up where you can restore from the trash. It looks sort of like a go back in time button. I can click on it and it'll put it back where it used to be. So if I go to my drive and find out where it used to be, here it is, README first. This is how you can fish things back out of the trash can. Google will delete stuff that's been in your trash can for 30 days, so you do get a chance to restore things if you change your mind. So I'm looking at my basic folders, right? And I'm on this README first, but it doesn't appear first on the list. How would I fix that? I could take advantage of Google defaulting to numbers first and then letters and rename this. So I've clicked on it. It's already highlighter blue and selected. I'm going to come up here to the 3 dots to open this, and I'm going to slide down to rename. And this time, I'm going to leave the name alone, but I'm going to put a 01 and a space in front of it and hit OK. Notice how it shot to the top of my structure. README first really is the #1 folder. I could go ahead and do the same renaming for each of these folders to reflect the priorities of my church team. Gone ahead and numbered all of my folders in priority order. You can see that now, and they appear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like you would expect. Of course, you can make subfolders inside of things, but I encourage you to think carefully about what those subfolder headings are going to be called. If I went into governance, I've also gone ahead and numbered it just because that's important to me in this folder. You don't have to do it for every subfolder though. Just think about the important ones that kind of need that extra structure or priority order. Here we have things from the Board of Trustees, things from the Chair's Council, annual reports for this church team, committee charter, vision, missions, meeting minutes, and the member phone roster for who's serving on this team. This is why I talk about searchable, meaningful names. You don't have to go very far to know exactly what's going on in these folders inside of governance and meetings, right? They just tell you what lives inside there. I could open the meeting minutes and expect to find that inside. Notice up here at the top, it tells you the path of how far into your filing cabinet or drive you've gotten into. You start out with My Drive. I've gone into the restricted folder for the church team. I'm in O2, governance and meetings, and then the down arrow, this is all the things that are inside there. I can click on it and get out to that area if I don't want to be so deep. Again, if you ever get lost, you can always come over here to the left side menu bar and click My Drive, and it'll bring you back to the beginning of your structure. I'm going to encourage you not to get too nested with too many subfolders. Like every single one of these doesn't need more subfolders. But if you have a really busy folder like monthly meeting minutes, that one you might want to have more divisions. For instance, just go ahead and put the church year from July 2019 to June 2020. That's all the minutes for that church year. We're currently on this one. If we double click on the orange one for July 2020 to June 2021, you see how each packet has its own area. So you see that I like using traffic light colors. Green is good to go, it's all done, but you know what? It's April, we're coming up on this. We need to start making this packet. In fact, the meeting is next Friday. It's in like a few days. So I can come up here to my three icons and slide down to change color. It'll open my paint box and I'm going to make it red for really, really urgent. And it doesn't hurt to look ahead. So I'm going to click on May minutes, see how I selected it. Same thing. I come up here to the three dots and click on it. Hover my mouse over the change color so the paint box appears. That one I'm going to make orange. Like it's becoming important, but it's not breathing down our necks like the meeting that's coming up on Friday. This is how you can change to color code your folders. That was traffic lights to indicate how important something is becoming in your project folders. Another way you can use color coding to organize your work is in rainbow order. So let's take a peek in the education folder. Say this church team does a lot of adult RE things and we have teachers teaching different days, different things. Double click on education and you can see how I put the different areas in rainbow order. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Most people know Roy G. Biv. You can go ahead and label them with whatever it is. I like using 00 to indicate something that affects everybody. So teacher training for all the adult RE teachers, well, that's going to affect everybody. It doesn't matter if you teach on Sunday or Tuesday. Yeah, gotta have your teacher training. But then I've made folders for my teachers and they have their own area to structure how they want to for their class. You see the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the drop-in class. You might want to consider that for your folder structure for your church team. Last but not least, look at this view. We see the things in a list. If I come up here to this grid icon and click on it, now I can see things in a grid. They go across in little folders. And now the icon has changed to the list view icon. And if I click it, I can go to list view. Another thing that you can do in list view, if you look right next to name, there's this little arrow, and that makes it go from ascending to descending order. If you click it one way, click it the other way, it just gives you a chance to make it be how you like looking at it.